Everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to the Slowest WAAAGH, where we are playing Tzeentch. It's turn 32! We got stuff! We have completed Conjuration 5 on our run up to Conjuration 6. Going well. We did a bunch of site searching, Dark Knowledge, Horospecs, Augury. Arcane Probing finds a Starflower Garden, so that is +1 to our Astral Pearls. It's kind of desperately needed. We're very low on Astral income, unfortunately. Voice of Apsu. Gnome Lore, At the End of the Rainbow, Auspex, nothing. We did get 5 Blood Slaves off of our new little blood factory, which is barely kicking, honestly, at this point. But the point is to try to get ourselves a little bit of a blood economy going so that we can get into Sanguine Dowsing Rods and then actually get a blood economy going, and then maybe we can move into something else. Right. We have a battle in the Stonegrave Mountains where Middenheim has attacked us. If Middenheim has attacked us outside of Middenheim, that means it has to be the Night Force. So, we've got an interesting thing here. We have sent out a bunch of Marauder Horse Archers. There's also some Chaos Warhounds here. And this is, I think, a really cool chance to see something that you don't get to see in action a lot, I think, in Dominions, period. But it's an especially good thing out of the Marauder Horse Archers. I've talked about these units, I've kind of like hyped them up a little bit, and this is one of the reasons why I really like them, what they're capable of doing in this particular instance. Not only do I think they have a decent stat line for what you're getting out of them, but it's really the falchion and the composite bow combination that I think makes them especially effective, and that. So you can see they are racing forward, and already, while moving forward, they are shooting because they are mobile archers, right? So able to fire even while moving. And this means, from a traditional standpoint, if you're way back here and you're firing, your accuracy, right, your precision, is impacted by the distance to your target. As you get closer to your target, your accuracy is going to naturally increase. So these Marauder Horse Archers are rushing towards their targets, and we have them on an attack rear, because the intention is to not get bogged down by the knights themselves, but to kill their commanders. And we can already see the archery is doing a good job of that, as this Amber Wizard is already almost dead, because all of the buffs are going on the knights rather than the wizards themselves. So this guy, we get closer and closer, and he gets popped in the same moment that the Ice Wizard Lord's mount gets popped, and the Ice Wizard Lord takes a shit ton of damage, because we're so close that these shots are all but guaranteed to hit. The Ice Wizard Lord gets melted, but now we're basically in combat. There's like 1 or 2 of these guys that are like, hey, let's shoot at the knights from behind. So, mission accomplished, right? Like, the goal was kill the wizards, right? Anything after that point is unexpected icing on the cake. It's extremely difficult for something like a Marauder, even 20 Marauder Horse Archers, to take on something like White Wolf Knights or the Knights of Moor when they are mist-formed, fucking bark-skinned, etc., etc. So, we're not expecting to do more than this. We actually just shot our own guy. Whoops. But we do actually start to chip through, not the front line of knights, but the Grandmaster, primarily because he's harassed down so far. We're able to get hits in, right? Because most of the hits would hit, but most of the hits would be negated by the Mist form, so enough of them are just kind of chipping through And suddenly... Does he have body ethereal? Suddenly, right before we are about to kill him, we get broken. Which is not unexpected. It's just unfortunate. We were so close to sealing the deal. If we just finished off this Grandmaster, the whole squad would have been routed and we wouldn't have to deal with them anymore. But in reality, they're finished anyways, right? The next time they are deployed, they will no longer have bark skin. They will no longer have mist form. They will simply be themselves along with a Grandmaster without a horse. And that's that, right? Like, we will be able to take them at that point. Mission accomplished. Killed the Amber Wizard, killed the Ice Wizard Lord, killed the horse of the Grandmaster of the Knights Panther. Very, very nice. And we lost the majority of the force here, but at the end of the day, that's an acceptable loss to try to excise this thorn from our paw, basically. We also attacked in Osens, trying to, again, corner this little knight raiding squad. And there's nothing really here. Just a single PD. And then we sent in a scout into Middenheim, just to see what they have concocted. So we can see they have been busy burning off the remaining gems that they have. They've got some fire ants in the back. Not really something that we have to worry about, especially. Got a couple of Vinemen, got some Griffins, which could be a little bit of an annoyance to us. Got some Wolves, got a Leogryph. The main concerns, from a summon standpoint, are the Yetis. And potentially this Fire Drake, depending on where he gets stuck in. Because if he gets stuck in on, like, the side up here, and he's, like, shooting his cone breath down across us, but he's not hitting a bunch of his own people, and he's kind of, like, out of the way of a bunch of attacks, that could mean that he gets many of these Drake Fires off, which could absolutely just flambe an area. But we'll see. Otherwise, he's still got a lot of mages here, right? Bunch of Amber Wizards, mixture of Ice Wizards in here, a couple of other wizard types. We'll take a look. He does have a big ol' god, and this guy is potentially going to be a problem because... Oh, no, not going to be... Potentially going to be a problem. Might be a problem. We'll see. He doesn't have a Ring of Regeneration, which would be, like, the big issue, because he's got a shit ton of HP while he is in his domain. He does have the option, in theory, of putting up personal regeneration, but without only dealing with 10 is way better than dealing with 20, which is how that works, I believe. So is a problem. He doesn't have a bunch of attacks. He's just going to be difficult to kill. But I think we'll do it, right? Like, I'm a little concerned, but I'm not that concerned, right? Like, he's not going to be reaching 35 or 30 plus protection with things like Moss Body, Body Ethereal, Mist Form, etc., etc. He'll probably have a couple of those, but not all of them. And our army actually has ways of dealing with that. So we're not seeing anything in here that we're just like, oh my god. And of course, I checked through all the mages. Nothing that I'm seeing there is like, uh-oh, this is a really big issue. So hopefully we're gonna be fine, right? We can see, just like go through his stuff real quick. He's just throwing up bark skin. We've got quicknesses coming out. So yeah, he has 5 Amber Wizards, 4 Wizards of Kislev, a Jade Wizard, and 2 Jade Wizard Lords. He's got an Elector Count and another Grandmaster there. He's got some Wolf or some Warrior Priests. And mostly, aside from some summoned units, that's it. So we're feeling pretty good about this. We will be attacking Middenheim this turn. Second gate's unlocked. We got 3 blue horrors this turn. Need 8 more secrets. Unexpected event in Ba'an Dagor. We got some air, water, earth, astral death, nature, and glamour gems. And unexpected event in Caverns of Gold. We gained unrest, which sucks. And we got some Chaos Warriors promoted in Midnight. So, what are we doing this turn? Not a lot, in fairness. This is a pretty chill turn. We are starting the castle in Balcoria, and we are throwing down a temple in Bagulath. So that really kind of crushes our income for the turn. That's 1,200 on new buildings. We are continuing our Sorcerer Lord recruitment, more Chosen Knights, some more Chaos Warhounds, because we want to kind of like finish off the 95 space that we have for these Chaos Warhounds to make sure that we have the unrest as close to 0 as often as possible. We are getting some more Chaos Warhounds over here, another Marauder Horsemaster. We are getting another Acolyte in Sermiak. We are getting more Chaos Warhounds over here because we can't get Acolytes there. Patrolling around, we're sending an Acolyte to Namor in order to build a lab there so we can start recruiting mages there. And then over here, we are sending the main force from Osense in to finish off these knights. It's possible that he moves those, so we're sending a force to Bushford, and we're sending a force to Cormark. The force at Cormark is the weakest, but I don't really expect him to move. I expect him to just kind of sit there. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. We're also sending another smaller force. No, we're not. We're just sending a Marauder Chieftain to Middenheim, and we're attacking Middenheim. So, what is the plan in Middenheim? Not a very crazy plan or anything like that. We got a bunch of archers. We're doing some Furious Warriors just to boost up the attack and morale of our chosen warriors. We are doing a small communion where we spam out lightning bolts. We're doing some luck spam on a couple of people. We're doing flaming arrows, of course, though we don't have enough for all of them. And that's pretty much it. Oh, right. The kind of like the caveat of what happens if a couple things go up on their god that we're not expecting. So first off, we have plenty of units that can hit hard enough, right? And have magic weapons that can pop a mist form. So that's just, do those units get in there to actually hit him? So if they do, no worries. The other aside is that we do have our Communion Masters on advanced cast spells. We have most of our casters that aren't slaves on advanced cast spells. And we have our Exalted Hero with the Halberd of Might and the Bear Claw Talisman. He is doing Blurred Body, Fire Shield, Personal Luck. So really the Personal Luck is the cross our fingers so that he doesn't die. Blurred Body will help, but even with Blurred Body, his defense is not going to be especially high. It'll just kind of like make it a more of an even option for his god hitting us. But we do hit on we have a 18 attack value and hit for 46 damage. So if we get in with their god, it's very likely that we will be chunking them rather hard. At the same time, we are a combat caster, so there is the option of getting in with their god and throwing off some low-tier fire stuff. There's a couple of... what is it? Flare? I think it's Fire Blast is what I was thinking of. I guess Burning Hands also effectively works. But basically, there's some melee stuff that hits decently hard. It's probably Burning Hands, what I was thinking of. of that on the occasion exalted heroes in melee will throw these types of things out. It does fatigue the fuck out of them, right? But it can make like a 40 damage turn or combat turn into like a 50 or 60 damage combat turn, which I think is gonna make the god not that big of an issue. If the god gets, let's go check. If the god this turn gets like a Ring of Regeneration, and or maybe some other piece of equipment, then things might get a little dicier. Again, I'm not super worried about just 10% regeneration. I'm more, isn't it 10%? Am I losing my damn mind? I feel like, what is that in? That's gotta be in, yeah. Yeah, it's 10%. So I would absolutely assume he can and is going to do personal regeneration. So at 180 HP, you know, he's going to be regenerating almost 20 HP a turn. I'm not super worried about 20 HP a turn with what we have in the battle. I am worried about 40 HP a turn. Because I believe you can do personal regeneration on top of a Ring of Regeneration. I'm 90% sure that is still. Why is my brain doubting me so hard? Somebody's going to be in the comments and be like, you're a fucking idiot. You can't do that. Whoops. I'm pretty sure you can do that, and I am worried about 40 HP. That would be a pain to deal with, but I don't know. I think we're going to be okay here. Obviously, the concern isn't that his army beats my army. The concern is that he holds us at the gates, or his god refuses to die, and a bunch of our army routs. That being said, we will have someone on siege in the capital. We control all of the territory around the capital. He has no way to cut retreats. Even if something happens and his god doesn't die, we can just sit on the capital or jump back onto the capital. It'll be fine. We just hope that doesn't happen, because that'll be an annoyance. So, should be okay. What else is going on? It's turn 32. We've got 469 research. That's not the greatest. Not the worst. It's not the greatest. I'd say it's not the worst, it's not the greatest. It's probably fine. I always get jumbled thinking about research. I need like a handy dandy research graph. Oh, you know what they should have? You know what they should have? They should have in the score graphs, they should have like a basic modifier, like ghost lines of this, for this turn, this is considered generally bad research line. This is considered a generally good research line, and this is considered a generally great research line. They should have those three comparatives in there at, like, you know, whatever the breakpoints would be. Let's say, again, this is arbitrary, I don't fucking know. Let's say 200 would be bad here, 400 would be, you know, normal here, and 600 would be great here, right? So that would be a cool little addition as a, like, helpful guide for players that don't keep all of that knowledge in their heads, like me. But I feel like we're doing pretty okay. I'm pretty happy with where we are at in the game. Looks like we are about to wrap up our first war. We're gonna get a good amount of territory out of this. We will have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why did I do it? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 11, also 11, also 12, and maybe 13. So 13-ish provinces. Now, obviously, we're losing territory to Karaz-a-Karak, which kind of annoys me. Especially since they really didn't do anything against Middenheim. In fairness, we didn't do that much against Middenheim, but we did battle them, right? It was mostly Bone Nose Tribe, though. So, you know, but I'm a little annoyed. But that's just the game. It's just dealing with other people. It's multiplayer. That is how you face these situations. So, is there anything else that is happening? Normal site search stuff? I don't think so. I think that's it. So it's turn 32. We have, looks like 3 more turns before we hit Conjuration 6. That would be turn 35. So right before it's expected for imprisoned gods to awaken. So we are perfectly in line with, even if the god comes like next turn, we're perfectly in line with where we kind of like need to be or want to be as far as things go. We got a nice store of fire gems to operate with, to enact the plan that we are going for. And overall, I think things have gone pretty well, right? The plan is working currently. The next stage is to see if we can solidify these gains, push our dominion, and look for an opportunity from there. It also, I will say, as a adjacent point, right? Bretonnia, Khorne, and Athel Loren won their first wars very early. And they all 3 got kind of big, right? And that is scary, but it doesn't seem that they have been able to do much from there. I've heard Khorne has kind of like been poking around, but it keeps turning into like threats of coalition or peace offerings, you know, like, hey, take these provinces and leave me alone type things. So that's good. Bretonnia tried with Bone Nose but got bloodied by Karaz-a-Karak, which, hey, dwarves getting bigger, but, you know. Itza, Nagaron, and Nehekara. Honestly, this is like the unfortunate line. Like, it doesn't feel like anything is going their way. So yeah, I'm really interested to see where things progress from here. Hopefully, we are about to be at a point to where anyone looking at us is gonna need to look at us with like not with hungry eyes, but with like realistic expectations. Because I think we are about to be at the point to where we can fight very, very effectively in our own territory. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.